Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Jenofeve Designs. Today we're going to do another fun painterly type artsy fartsy video, and I think you guys are really going to like it. We are making a scrapbook album using the Timeless Printable Scrapbook Album templates, and we are using the floral version background design. I will have a collections list linked in the description box of all the printables from my shop that we are using in this album. And I also have a video playlist for this album. It goes step by step, video by video, if you want to see how we've got this far, thus far. We are using the Lavender paper collection by Stamperia or Stamperia. Will somebody tell me if that's right? Stamperia or Stamperia? Somebody. So we are using this paper collection. All of this stuff is linked down below if you want to check it out. So I want to add a page here because I feel like before I can make my insert, so right now we have a jig in here. It's just one of the jigs to keep the pocket from collapsing. So this is one of the 3D pockets right here, and the jig is just a box of chipboard. I have a video on that. I will link that up there if you want to make you some, because it's really handy to have. And it's also handy to have them, where's the other one I have sitting right here? If you're working on that, for example, there's a space between this page and this page. You can stick another one in there, and then you have a more solid, level space to create whatever it is you're creating without squishing any of the 3D pockets. So right now there's one 3D pocket, two 3D pockets. So there's only two 3D pockets thus far. But when we go to work on it, we should probably have this sitting in there so that we don't smoosh anything. But I want to add a page here because I'm worried that the insert that I'm going to put here is going to interact with this, right? Which, if it does, it does. I mean, sometimes there's not a lot you can do about it, but I think I have a really cool solution. So, yeah. Let's get going. So out of the templates, we're just going to need one page, and then I'm going to give you options. So if they're, okay, let me just show you. I'm going to give you options other than printing on vellum, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So page 5 is one of the main base pages for the base layers, right? So this is, oh, ouch. What was that? What did I hit? Goodness gracious. Anyway, this is what it looks like when you print it with the floral background design. If you have the floral background design, this is what I'm using. So you have options. So what I did was I printed page 5 onto cardstock, and I also printed it onto vellum. And you guys gave me suggestions on what to do to print vellum on if my inkjet wasn't being cooperative. And it wasn't being cooperative, so you guys told me to attach it to another sheet of paper. So that's what I did. I attached vellum just with 3 spots of tape runner tape. And let me show you what kind of tape runner, this kind of tape runner tape. And I ran it through my inkjet, and it did recognize it, I guess. And I just attached it to a thin piece of paper so it wouldn't be too thick. So I went ahead and did that, but I did it twice so that I could go ahead and just show you this, but you know, save time in the video. So I could show you this, and then we can get going. So what I did is I cut it out on the paper. So I cut away this tab here and all of the white, and this is what we're left with. And then I scored it here and I inked it, and sometimes vellum is hard to ink, so I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to leave this out, but I'm going to move these. Sometimes the vellum is hard to ink, so you could, if you have a surface like mine, which is washable, you can just literally lay it down flat and just go like this. You don't have to hold it up like this. Sometimes it just is a little fiddly, so you can do it that way. You can also do it with a piece of paper underneath, but that's how I did it. I just went like this all the way around. I got this one and I got the back side. okay? And we're gonna keep it on this paper for now. But if you can't print on vellum, so if you can't print on the vellum, I have this vellum linked in the Amazon list for this project. Which I know a lot of people don't have the ability to print. You can take your page and put your vellum over top, and you can trace it yourself and cut it out that way. So if you can't print on it, just trace it out. It's no big deal. You don't have to have the floral background design printed on it. You can also do, with the technique we're getting ready to do, you can just have this laid over, that you can even attach it before you cut it out, just like attach it up top. And you can do the same technique that I'm getting ready to show you. So there's options, is all I'm trying to say. Yes. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. I was messing around before I turned the camera on, and I wanna show you. So I was playing with what I wanted to do with this page. So I traced it, inked it. I started doing maybe something like this. Maybe we could do some floral, or not floral, but like leaves up the side like we did on the vellum before. Let me pull this back over. Like we did, right, like that. I thought about that. So that's where I kind of was sketching. So then I wanted to practice on what's it going to look like if we paint the flowers on there. Basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this page and attaching it to the hinge part on this side, and I'll show you more when we get to that part. And that way we'll have something protecting what's in this pocket, but it'll be beautiful and it'll be see-through. So this is painted with the paints that are part of this collection, which we did a swatch. I better leave this open because I may need to see how it looks. I'm gonna stick that back there. We did a swatch, not a swatch, a mixing chart. I did a video just like this, or on this, and I'll have that video linked up there and in the description box if I remember. I keep forgetting to add these random videos to the description box. But these are the paints that were part of that paper collection that I purchased. And if you don't have these, just find colors that you like, that you think are pretty with whatever collection you're using, okay? So I'm going to take this here and my chart, and I'm gonna grab, my water's dirty because I've already been painting. Isn't this pretty? So here's how it's gonna look before we paint. If you didn't want to paint it and you just wanted to print it, the writing is going to be upside down when we're looking at it from this direction, but when we flip it over this way, it's gonna be right side up. But to be honest, it's not that noticeable. I did print it with the vintage script one, and that one was super noticeable, but this one isn't that noticeable, that it's upside down. So, or not upside down. Well, yeah, upside down. Yeah. So, we are going to paint on here. Now, I'm trying to decide if which side I want to paint on. I think I want to paint on the back side because that's the side that you'll see first. So, I also think I want to paper clip these together. Just so that they don't move too much. And I'm just leaving the white paper behind there so I can see through easier, and so that you can see as well. Okay. So we got those things. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I just love it. Okay, we've got those, and then I have, this is plastic from the other vellum package that I had. I had it sitting there and I just grabbed it. So use what you got, you guys. Don't feel like you have to go get you a special palette. So the colors that I think I've got every color out here except white. because I did end up using a lot of the colors, but I'm hoping they're still wet. So what I chose was I wanted the kind of like in this page here, you can kind of, the flowers, they're that really, it's kind of like this color here. It's like I don't know, they're just it's a really soft, sweet, like mauve-y, pinky, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I wanted to kind of add that color into the flower, right? And I think I did okay. Let me bring it back. I think I did okay in matching it up. Let me see if I can get that close to the, you know, I think it looks pretty. What do you guys think? And I am going to scooch you in here in a minute when we start painting, but like, isn't that lovely? Okay, I just think that's just, okay, all right, stop it. Stop it, Jennifer. Okay, so what I ended up using was the lilac. Is that what this one is? The lilac, yes, the lilac and the cyclamen. Thanks, you guys, for trying to help me pronounce it. I did finally ask Google to pronounce it, and I still don't think I'm saying it right, but the lilac and the cyclamen together, plus a little bit of ivory for the flower itself, and then I'm using the green and ivory for the leaves, and then I'm just using some of the lavender and ivory for, oh, you'll see, and then we're going to use some of the cappuccino for the middle, and then we're going to add a few more accents. So I've pretty much got all the colors out on here, and hopefully they're still wet. Whoa. I'm going to scooch you in. I don't know if you'll be able to see this palette. I might have to get a different thing because you guys can't see. We'll see. Okay. And then I've got 3 paintbrushes that are part of that Ranger set that I linked. One is a 4, a 2, and a 6. 2, 4, 6. So that's what we got going on. So here's what we're going to do, you guys. We are getting our brush wet, and I'm using the biggest one at the moment. And you can either pick a cluster or do all the flowers, but I thought this was the perfect chance to use this page because of the flower background. We could add some pretty floralness and protect that page at the same time. So because you can see through, and I'm hoping you guys can see through pretty good, you can literally just mix your paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a little, oh yeah, it's still wet under there. It's not wet on top, but underneath it's wet. So I'm going to take a little bit of that lilac and just a hint of the, is it cyclamen? Is that the one that's cyclamen? Yep. Just to change the color just a little bit, but I want it to be the lightest color I can get at the moment. And we're going to do one flower at a time because we're going to do a little bit of mixing on the paper. So, since the flower is already there for you, you're basically just filling in the space of the flower. So you're just taking this base color. This obviously isn't the lightest possible version, but it's pretty light. Like this, you just go through. And try to stay in the lines, but if you don't stay in the lines, it's okay. It's not, you're gonna do like you're gonna do some marking on here as well, so it won't be as noticeable, you know, some sketchy stuff. So then I went back into the cyclamen, and we're gonna go with the bottom here. Whoops, I may have made that too dark. We're gonna go at the bottom here and just add some, at the bottom of the petal, I'm sorry, and just add some darkness coming out from the center. I might need to change brushes. And I'm just kind of flicking upwards a little bit. And if you happen to have a copy, like I do, whoops, where's the cardstock version? Here it is. So again, you could literally just do this right over top of your cardstock version if you don't want to print it onto the vellum. You can go back and look and see, well, it's upside down. I guess it would look the same. And you can see where the darker spots are if you really wanted to. That's what I mean by the darker spots. If you really, like where the petal is like folding over. If you really wanted to get super detailed. But we're not going to. We're going to switch brushes. I'm going to go to the 4 this time, I think. And then I'm going to go into the ivory and get that already, the film over top that's already, oh, this has blue in it still. Shoot. We're going to go into the ivory and we're going to make a lighter version of the lilac. Again, except this one's going to be lighter. And then we're going to kind of go on top here and go at the top of the leaf, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of water. I'm going to dab my brush off because I want to blend it just a little bit. So acrylic paint reacts to water, like if you catch it quick enough. So if you want it to blend a little bit better, you could have done one petal at a time and been able to blend. But we're just gonna go with what we have here. It's okay because it's not gonna be, it's more impressionistic than it is, you know, you don't want it to be super realistic. So you can get as detailed with this as you want, or as not detailed as you want. Oops. Okay, so that was just using 3 colors and blending. And you can see here I left it a little dark right there, and that was because it had that fold over part that I could see. Whoa, excuse me. It kind of looks like it might be too much. All right, so there's like kind of like the basic flower. You could go through and do all your flowers that way. And then the next thing I wanted to do was, and I didn't think about this when I did my little example, was that the ink that we use, the Scorched Timber, the ink that we're using for this album, well, you could use it as your brown as well. It looks really nice, but we're actually going to use the brown, and we're going to mix it. I'm going to have to scooch the crusted over part. We're going to mix it with the cyclamen and get kind of like a dusty purple. I might have used too much. Oh no, I need more cyclamen. So if I hadn't let this dry, you guys, I wouldn't be struggling with this. But I did, so. And if it's not brown enough, we'll just come back over top of it with some more brown. And I'm just going to go into the center here, and I'm just going to kind of like plop, 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 plop. Yeah, I'm going to need more brown. Either that or I'm going to add some of that blue to it. Plop, 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 plop. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And let's see. Should I add blue to it or not? Let's see what it does. Let's see how it looks just over here. No, it didn't really make it browner, so we're not going to do that. Right, so there are 2 parts. Let me scooch you a little further if it'll let me. Right, so we've got the petals, not done, just kind of like the base, the petal, the center. Now let's do the leaves. I am going to use these smaller brushes. And I am just going to use the green, what's it called, leaf green, and I'm going to add a little ivory to it, and we are going to do a super light version of the green in the same way we did the other leaves that we painted. We're just going to go through and just kind of do like a base. It's super warm here in my studio, so my paint's like drying really, really fast. But paint a few like that, then come back with the green on your brush and then just kind of add some spots on the bottom to give it dimension, if you care to. You don't have to, there's no rule. Just like that. And then we're also going to come in with some ivory and put a little highlight. Oops, I got some water dripping. And put a little highlight on these leaves as well. Again, it doesn't have to be super perfect, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to soften one of these just a little. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a second, and then we're going to come in and add a little bit of detail. You could use your paint if you want to. You can use marker, you can use paint pens, all the things. So first thing I'm going to start with is a Sharpie fine tip. If you have a Faber-Castell, one of those artisty type, use that too, but I'm just going to use a Sharpie because it's sitting right here. And again, I'm just going to go through and just kind of like sketchy outline, because I think it makes it look cool. And then even like a sketchy out here in the middle here, and I'm just going to do just a little dot dot dot, right? And then a sketchy here, like that. Then you can, if you wanted to, you could come in and do some little marks like this. So that's what we got so far. Right, it looks pretty cool. Not too shabby. And then you can either use, matter of fact, I might come back with a little bit of this ivory and highlight the flower just a little bit better. Just a little bit, now that things are dry and it won't mix in as much. And just do a little bit of dabble doodles. Whoops, got a little too much on there. Got too dabbly, but I'm gonna leave it. It's fine. I'm gonna do a little dabble on the leaf. You could use a white paint pen, which I'll show you one here in just a little bit. You could put some dabbles in the middle. You could even, if you wanted to, you could do some highlighting in the center. Maybe we should use a paint marker for that. I hope you guys can see. So that's what we got so far. Looking pretty good. All right. So then I want to I want to add some of my Deco Color Liquid Gold. Liquid Gold. And I want to add some of this accent in here as well. So I'm just going to add some dots into the center, and I'm just going to add dots where the highlights are on the petals. Just a few. And then maybe a few dots on the leaves. Like that. Looks pretty cool. I feel like I've got this backwards. I feel like the highlight should be here where it's flipped over. Oops. And not the other way around. So and then we'll put some dark underneath, like as a shadow right there. That looks better. That looks better to my eyeball. Okay, so that, a little accent here. And then the other thing I have is this Uniball Posca pen. This one is white, 0.7 millimeter. So it's a teeny tiny. And I wanted to just kind of accent with white. It does show up against the ivory. So it's just a little extra whimsical like thing. I don't know, I just think sometimes it's all in details, you know? And it's not, you don't have to have that, it's not necessary, but it just kind of adds a little something. I'm gonna come back with this. Okay. I'm gonna let this dry for a second. And I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna flip it over and show you what it looks like on the back side. All right, before I flip it over though, I think I'm going to add some more black in here. I think I got too carried away with the white just in the center, because a lot of times it's darker in the center. And I want to make sure that we keep that look. Yeah. And I'm going to put some black dots here at the base of each petal. I don't know why, I feel like it needs it. Not just the little black slashes, but like the black dots. Okay, so now that's what it looks like. So let's take the paper clips off and look at the other side, because you're probably wondering, well, what's it going to look like on the other side? So I'm going to show you. It looks like that. So you have two options. You can flip it over when you're all done and do a little detail on the back side, or you can leave it just like this. You have multiple options, really. You can do whatever you want, so keep that in mind. So what I'm gonna do, let me see, did I do, oh, I did do, I flipped this one over and I kind of did a little bit of detail on the back side, even though you can't, I don't have the floral on here, but see, it looks different. It looks the same but different, right? The same but different. So here's what I'm going to do now. I am going to scoot you back a little bit, as you're a little close. I'm going to put the paper clip back on, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to paint some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and paint some more flowers. I may vary the color a little. Like I may add some more blue to the purple and do some smaller ones that are slightly a different color purple. So yeah, keep that in mind. Actually, I might do that first. And when you do smaller flowers, it's probably better to use a smaller brush. So let's see. And acrylic paint does dry really, really fast. Especially when it's warm, like it's warm up here. So I'm going to add blue to this one, and then I'm going to fast forward. Okay, so one of the things that we're gonna have to decide, and I may wait to decide, is whether or not we want to add any more painted flowers. So I'm gonna actually scoot you all out a little. Whoop, that's the wrong way. So I'm gonna scoot the book in here just a little bit, and I'm gonna take the paper clips off. And it'll be laying over here like this. So I'm trying to decide if it needs more. So I may just add a little bit of like a blue sky kind of situation around it. Not where other flowers are, but like around it a little, and see if I like that. But the cool thing is we can always come back and add to it. So there's that. We don't want to distract too much from what's going to be underneath it either. All right, I think I'm just going to use it's actually lavender. I keep calling it blue, but they call it lavender. So I'm going to try to just stick it down here where you can see. Maybe add a little bit of ivory to it so it's a super light. Add not that much water. Add some water. We want to water it down just a little bit. We don't want too much on our brush, and I'm just going to come in. Oh, I want a little bit more than that. I'm just going to come in like the in-betweens. It's a little too light. Let's add a little bit more blue. Purple. Lavender. Sorry. I think you guys know what I mean. Okay, let's try that. That's a little better. So we're just giving it kind of like that painterly, you know, look. I'm going to try not to get onto any of the other flowers that are around, or the leaves. I'm not really bothered by the words. So let's just go in and add some of this. So then the next question would be, how far do we go with the blue, right? Or, sorry, lavender. Boy, tell you what. It looks blue. I'm sorry, it does, it looks blue. It's okay. It's just when I'm looking at it next to the other colors, it looks blue. So I think I may have just went over a flower, but I think that'll be okay. Oop, stick my hand in it. I really like that. I really like that a lot. Do you guys like that? That looks so pretty. I don't know, I might leave it like that. Okay. Is that dry yet? It's probably dry. It's dry enough. I'm gonna flip this over and show you what it looks like on the back side. That's kind of what it looks like. You could leave it like that, most definitely. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my marker and I'm gonna go and do the sketchy outlines just like I did on the other side. Yeah, it definitely looks a lot like sketchier on this side, if that's the right word. But I did just that same thing where I just took the black marker. Now I'm going to take the liquid gold and just add some accents to it, just like I did on the other side. Actually, I think, well, yeah, why not? We'll just add a few little dots here and there of it on the petals. Why not? And then let's add some white. It's kind of cool looking. I also feel like we need to add, oh, I don't know. I think I'll leave it for now. It's not near as detailed as the front, but I think it still looks pretty cool all the same. What do you guys think? All right, let's let that dry, and then I think we'll install it onto the album. Okay, it's dry. I want to attach this into the book, but I wanted to show you. I tried to vellum. I didn't try to vellum stick. I tried to use a glue stick to attach vellum. Well, I attached vellum to vellum to see if, you know, how that's going to work. And I let it sit there for about an hour, and then I went to peel it apart, and it peeled directly apart. Like, there's nothing there. There's no adhesive. It's dry, and it peeled completely apart. So we won't be using glue stick on our vellum today, but what we are going to be using is tape. So I'm just going to set this white paper aside, and we need to be super careful because we don't want to put tape on the whole thing. We are only going to be adding this to this part right here, okay? So actually, we could technically just put the tape here if I can hold my book in a certain way to be able to do that. Let's see, should I use my, oh, I'm not gonna use my water. Let's use my candle. Let's see, this will be better. So we're gonna apply tape right here. Oh boy, oh boy. Feeling a little nervous. Not gonna lie, don't need that size. Let's do, oh, I wish I had one that was perfectly fitted so that you couldn't see any tape ones. Let's see. If you don't, it's okay. Just be really careful. I'm gonna use, this is 1 inch. Well, it's supposed to be 1 inch. I don't think it is. What is it? It's 7/8. So there's that. Okay. So I'm gonna take this one I got at Cherry on Top. I'll have all of my adhesives are linked below if you want to check that out. So I'm going right in betweens here, and I'm gonna try, actually I'm gonna use my scissors. Oh, actually, I don't think I can get in there with my tool. Nope, let's try my tool. Okay. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, so I'm gonna burnish this as best I can in this situation. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull the tape backing off, and maybe pull that tape backing off, and I'm going to flip. I did get a little overhang there. I'm just going to flip it back on itself, and I am going to use the glue stick trick just to give me a little bit of wiggle room so I can get on there correctly. You can skip this part if you feel brave. You can skip it. And so the way I'm attaching this down, so this is right side up, but we're going to attach the right side up hinge to the hinge of this page here. So we're flipping it over. So it's going to be, the first side that we painted, it'll be facing up. So I'm going to lay this on here. I'm going to get down as close to that, the bottom line as possible. And we're going to attach that down. And I'm trying to stick my fingers in there. Well, let's just use my finger for now. So you can still see a little bit of that purple-ish color. Not as much, obviously. Okay. So now that we've got that attached in there, so now this is going to take some straightening out so that it doesn't look so crinkly. But I feel like it will straighten out over time. So then we have something that looks like this. I'll just keep working on that. So when you open it, you see it's not attached here. And right now we've got that jib in there. So I want you to try to see. So it doesn't go past that mark right there. But what it is doing is it allows you to open it up like this, right? It allows you to protect, so when you close this, you are not interfering with whatever you put in that 3D pocket. Okay, so yeah, we might figure out a way to I want to kind of say a magnet, but I don't at the same time. Have we used magnets yet? I don't think we have. Not yet. So there is a possibility, because when I scored this, I did go through that a little bit. It did go through the vellum. So there is that possibility that it could tear. But if it does, we'll just come back with some tape or something, and we'll make it decorative right there so that it doesn't fall off. So if anybody has any good ideas on how to flatten this vellum out, holla, because I'd like to know. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Also, let me know your thoughts on this idea. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh. I think it's stunning. And just using that background design, that floral background design, you can do the same exact thing. It's like a coloring book. You're just coloring in the coloring book, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you try it. Give me a thumbs up if you're excited to give this a try, or if you just love the way this looks. It's very artsy fartsy, but not. It's not hard. I know somebody left me a comment on the last one that said, "It's easy," she said. It is easy. Well, I mean, it's easy if you just give it a try. You just need to give it a try. Just try it. And it's okay. It's just, you could try it on your paper. Like, just print it out and paint your little florals. Paint the flowers. Paint the leaves. You don't have to do it on vellum. You could have made this a solid sheet. Totally fine. But yeah, give it a try and let me know what you think, you guys. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you think it's as beautiful as I do. And it kind of serves two purposes. It's function and beauty. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Make sure you check everything out in the description box. There's links to the Amazon, links to the Etsy collections list for this project. All the things are down there. And give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. All the things, okay? Thanks for joining me today, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.